Patrick Dellers, and you're looking at Sisters of the Maccabee TV. Bless it.
Maccabees TV, this is your brother Priest Daniela. Family, today we're going to go downstairs and we're going to try to find my wife and see what she's up to. Shalom.
Shalom.
Surprise. Got the camera rolling and you are on Maccabees TV. Your first time.
Really?
Yeah, really. You didn't want to give me an interview, so I decided to take an interview. So what are you up to right now? See the goggles on. What's the goggles for?
I'm making some soaps.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I have to wear the goggle because I don't, you don't want the thing to splash in your eyes.
Okay. And why are you wearing the gloves?
Well, I just poured my lye in the oil, and I don't want to get the lye on my skin, so.
Interesting. Okay. So you say you make soaps. Well, I mean, what's the difference between the soaps that you make and the soaps that I can buy at Rite Aid or any supermarket or any pharmacy? Why do you make soaps? What's different about the soaps that you make as opposed to other soaps?
Because I don't really use any chemicals in my soaps. I know that I'm allergic to the soaps at the store, but when I use homemade soaps, I'm not allergic to it. So whatever they put in the soaps at the store, there's something in there making my skin, allergic. So.
Do the soaps you make have perfumes or dyes in them?
No. Today I'm making coconut soap. Here's my coconut oil. A bucket of coconut oil. That's coconut oil. That's what I have in here. And I also have some sunflower oil in there. Is that thing really on? Okay.
It's really on.
And there's no perfume. That's lemongrass essential oil. I don't know if you can see. You can come closer. Yeah. So that's what I'll be putting in my soap today. So the only thing that's in this right here, I'm making a small batch. This is my mold. When I'm done with this mixture, I'm going to be pouring it in that. So the only thing that's in here right now is this coconut oil, sunflower seed, and over here I have shea butter. There's a 25-pound box of shea butter that I bought. So I have some of that in here, and I also have some cocoa butter. That's cocoa butter. This is raw cocoa butter. See, it's like rock. You have to melt it. So that's what I have in here. That, and you have to add. Oh, in case you didn't know, I get asked this question a lot. A lot of people ask me, "Can you make me some soap without lye?" Well, you can't make soap without lye. All right, so I just want to make a few corrections as it relates to lye and soap making. A lot of people have the same question every time. Can you make some soap without lye? And the answer is no. There is no such thing as soap making without lye, okay? Now, I did a video with a brother a few months ago, brother Joel Benjamin, and quite a few people, well, not quite a few, but a few people were saying that there was just one gentleman who said he went to Africa and he saw the Africans making black soap without lye. Now, Africa is a huge continent, but I'm sure there's nowhere on the continent that there's any African making soap without lye, because that's impossible, okay? Now, what he didn't see was the Africans making their own lye, because that's what they do. There's no such thing as soap making without lye, okay? The African make their lye from scratch. If you go to YouTube and you watch those African making black soaps, now they won't show you the full lye making process because they don't want to put that out there. You know, the white man might take that and run with it. But what they do is they make lye the old-fashioned way, okay? And that is from ashes. So the Africans use cocoa pod ash, okay? Those of you who know what cocoa is, that's what chocolate comes from in its purest form, okay? They use the pod from the cocoa. And they also use plantain skin. And what they do is they put those to dry, okay? And then they turn it into ashes. You need quite a lot of those to make, you know, in order to make a lot of soaps. And so that's how and obviously they mix it with salt and some other things. I'm not sure how they do it, but bottom line is the Africans make their own lye in order to make their black soap. You cannot get a bar of soap without the use of lye. The lye is what binds everything together. There's a chemical reaction that happens, and that's how you get your soap. Because you only need 3 things to make soap. 3 things. You need your lye, you need water, and you need oil. So if you remove the lye out of the equation, you're only going to end up with oil and water. And you can't make soap with oil and water. Oil and water doesn't even bond together. I mean, when you put oil with water, they separate. So this is why you can't make a bar of soap without lye. And as I said, you only need three ingredients. So your lye is what binds your oils and your water together. There's a chemical reaction that happens when you put those 3 things together. And that's how you get soaps. So I hope that answers your question. For those of you who are asking me to make you some soaps without lye, it cannot happen. Now, I will tell you this. After you mix the lye and the oil and the water together, right, there's a process called saponification. And this is where, for lack of a better word, this is where the lye, over a period of time, evaporates. Okay, so when you're using a bar of soap, there's no lye in there. The lye has already evaporated. Because otherwise, your skin will burn you. You know, lye is, there's a chemical, like I said, there's a chemical reaction that happens. So the raw lye will burn your skin. So the fact that if you're using a bar of soap and your skin is not burning, it's an indication that there is no lye in the soap. So as I said, there is a process called the saponification process where you can either cook the soap, and that's called the hot process way of making soap, or and then when you cook the soaps, the lye is removed from the soap during the cooking process. If you decide not to cook the soap, that's called the cold process way of making soap, but you have to allow the soaps to sit and cure for a long period of time, and during that process the lye is slowly evaporating from the soaps. Okay, so at the end of that process there will be no lye in your soap, and you're able to use your soap without getting burned, without burning your skin. So I hope that answers your question. So I have all my ingredients in here except for my essential oil and my herbs. I have some, I have some chamomile and some lavender herbs in here. This is my little mortar and pestle right here. And I kind of just grind up the herbs. So after I mix my ingredients, I'm going to pour that in here. So
speak to the people about the importance. Since you say you have herbs in there, speak to the people about the importance, because I've heard it said by more than a few people, including yourself, of course, you always tell me, that because soap, and we'll deal with soap since we're dealing with soap, you're making soap right now, anything that goes on your skin is also something that should be edible as well.
Right.
So I noticed that you use a lot of edible stuff. You're using coconut oil, sunflower oil. You're using lemongrass. You're using herbs. These are all things that we actually can ingest in our body as well. So speak about.
These are the herbs that I actually take out of my little bags these are herbs that I take every day.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a whole bunch of herbs up there. So I just took out a little bit of my chamomile herb. I make tea with that. And I added, there's a Ephraimite sister who gave me a bag of lavender flower. It's like the flower from the lavender plant.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave it to me a couple of months ago. So I dried them. I have like a little bit more left in the cabinet. I dried it, and so that's what I have in here. So I just use this, and I kind of grind it, and I'm gonna pour it in here. So
So speak about the importance of natural things that we ingest in our body that actually go into things that we put on our skin. What's the connection between the two?
well, it's important if you can eat it, then you can put it on your skin pretty much, because your skin biggest organ on your body, pretty much. So whatever you put on your skin, it goes into your bloodstream. So you want to put, everything you put on your skin, you want it to be as natural as you possibly can. So with the herbs, I put the raw herbs in here. It's good for exfoliation as well. While you're taking a shower, it exfoliates your skin, especially in the wintertime when you have dry, dead skin. It's good to exfoliate. And also, it just makes the soap smells good, and it's good for your skin. Sometimes I do use activated charcoal. I have I put this in my soap sometimes. Activated charcoal. I'm not going to use that today, but I do put that in my soaps, because we all know what activated charcoal is good for. It pulls poison, toxin and all that stuff from your body. You can ingest it. I mean, I take this.
Yeah, they give it to people. They give it to you in the emergency room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you whenever you get alcohol poisoning or you overdose on poison, when you go to the emergency room, the doctors give you this to get rid of the poison. So that's a very good thing. Not just for your skin, but you're supposed to ingest it as well. It really get rid of toxin. So I usually put that in my soap as well. I'm not going to do it today, but yeah. So I'm going to be mixing my soap with my little blender here. So there's going to be a lot of noise.
Okay.
Now there's two ways to make soaps. I don't know if you ever watch those videos where, like I mentioned earlier, where those African lady make the black soaps, where they literally cook the soaps. They have it on like a huge fire, and they have the big pot on the fire. Whoops, got a little spill here. There's two different processes you can make soap. One process is called hot process, and that's pretty much what the African ladies do. It's where you cook the soaps. This is called the cold process, because I'm not cooking it. I'm just mixing all the ingredients and blending it together. Now, as I said before, lye is very toxic. You know, it's very harsh. Just mixing the lye, you have to be careful when you're mixing the lye because it is a chemical. Even though, you know, everything comes from the earth, but certain things that come from the earth can still be, you know, a little dangerous. So the lye can get very toxic in the beginning of the process, which is obviously why I'm wearing a glove. And it's always good to wear long sleeve because you don't want all of this to splash on your skin. So I'm gonna add my lemongrass essential oil. Everything here has to be measured though. You can't just toss some, you know, some coconut oil and some, you know, shea butter and cocoa butter and some lemongrass into a bowl and mix it. Everything has to be measured. The amount of water and lye that you mix together depend on the amount of the oils that you're using. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a calculation, pretty much. So you can't just like, oh, let me just toss some lime, some water, and some oil, and just make some soaps. Maybe some people can, but I can't. You know, maybe those African ladies can because they've been doing this for a while.
I guess it's almost like cooking. You know, when you first start cooking, you use a measuring cup for everything, and you use, you know what I'm saying. But after a while cooking, nobody uses that stuff no more. You just know how much seasoning to put, how much water to put, just by the feel of it.
Not really. Not when it comes to soap making.
Mm.
Okay, the amount of each ingredients that you put in here depend on how the outcome of your soap.
Mm.
It depends on how hot, you know, if your mixture is actually going to turn into a bar of soap or it's just going to go bad. You know, it might just come out into a big slob of mush, you know, if it's not mixed correctly. So you really have to measure it. So, okay, the soap that they sell and you know, that you get from the pharmacy and Bath and Body Works, or you know, all those places, they have a lot of synthetic fragrance in there, and that's why a lot of people are very sensitive to soaps, because there's a lot of other stuff that they put in the soap. Because if you notice, when people go shopping for, you know, body product, the first thing they do, what do? They pick it up and they smell it, because they don't really, that's what they're looking for, just a smell. They don't care what's in it, you know, how it's made. They just want something that smells good. But usually smell, you know, it's just because something smells good doesn't mean it's good for you. So and that's what the people who, you know, manufacture these soaps, that's what they look for. They look for the attraction to smell. The more people are attracted to the smell, the more the product is going to sell. But if you're into natural product, you don't really care about smell. I mean, I care about how my skin is gonna, you know, be after I use a bar of soap. You know. Oops. Now I'm adding my herbs. So that's my chamomile and lavender herb. Now, sometimes the type of oil you use to make soap depend on how the soap will come out. Sometimes you get like really hard bar of soap, and you get that with coconut oil. Coconut oil will give you a very, very hard bar of soap. So if you don't want your soap too hard, you have to mix it with another oil, which is why I add some sunflower oil in there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pour this in my mold.
How long have you been making soaps? Like, how long have you been in business now?
It's a couple of years. I don't quite remember, but it's been a couple of years.
And what prompted you to get into this particular business?
A couple of years ago, well, about 4 years ago, I came down with a bad skin situation. I'm just going to pour my soap into the mold. I came down with this really, really bad skin problem. I was getting rashes and hives all over my body. And the dermatologist, the allergist, nobody could figure out what was going on with my skin. And then I realized that I couldn't use skincare product from the store anymore. So I just think about, at the time I thought about what, alternative. What can I use? Because I have to take a shower, I have to put moisturizer on my skin. So that's what made me started making my own product. Because I can't use products from the store. I just can't. They have too many chemicals in there. My skin is allergic to it. I was back and forth to the hospital. I mean, I remember my doctor used to give me, I think they call it an EpiPen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, my allergy was really bad. I was getting these bouts of rashes and hives everywhere, and nobody could figure out what was going on. They still haven't figured it out. So, I started making my own stuff. So, this is gonna sit in this mold I'm gonna let this sit for the next 24 hours, and it's gonna get hard. And then after that, I can cut it into bars of soaps. I'm just making a little design on it. Usually I put more herbs in my soaps. Like I have, here I'm going to show you. I have a bag of spirulina herb here. I have a whole bunch of herbs. You know that, honey. You take them. And I usually put that in my soap as well, because these things are good for you inside and out. But today I just wanted to make some plain old soaps. So So that's it. So I'm going to allow this to sit in this mold for 24 hours, and then I'm going to cut it. So, this soap I made yesterday. Actually, I don't really like how this one came out, but made it yesterday, and I'm gonna try and cut it. So, this is your bar. I think I have, in this one I have alfalfa and spirulina. As you can see, I have some more over here. Oh, this one I add black seed oil to it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this one is like, if you could tell, it's like darker than the rest of them. Because I had some black seed oil to this one. Black seed oil is black. And most of these I add some herbs in them. Some spirulina, some alfalfa. This one if you can come closer, you see the herbs on top of it. Yeah, most of these have well, pretty much all of them have herbs in them. So here's another bar from, like I said, I made this yesterday. This one have lemongrass essential oils in them. In this one, coconut oil, some grapeseed oil, shea butter, cocoa butter. I didn't put any black seed oil in here. And what else I put in there? Some lavender, some spirulina, and some alfalfa herb I put in this one. So, I actually like how they came out. I have to get me a better soap cutter. This doesn't really do a good job.
All right, well, at this point, I guess we would be remiss if we didn't tell the people the name of your company. What is the name of your company?
Oh, it's called Nuts About Butters.
Okay.
You can find me on Etsy.
And where you can also find you on Facebook as well?
You can go to Hebrew Crowns on Etsy. Hebrew Crowns.
All right.
And you can also find me on Facebook at Nuts About Butters.
Yes, with an S, family.
Yep.
Nuts
With
About Butters with an S. All right. And I know for a fact that we have some of your products inside Joelle's store. We have some of your products in a store in Long Island, and we're looking to, have your products, in a bunch of other stores, but it's always best for people to come and buy it directly from the source. What other products besides soap do you sell?
I make body butters. I make I make pretty much everything that I can't buy from the store. I make body butters. I make lip balms, lip gloss. I make hair oils. I make beard oil for the men.
Hair conditioner.
Conditioner. So pretty much the products that I'm allergic to in the store, I make them. So everything that I make, I use. Everything here that I make, I use. I don't have any of my other products in front of me right now, but yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you want the people out there to know about your business? Any final words that you want to say to them about the importance of, first of all, I will say, we need to support one another. We have a lot of business people in the community that are not getting support. Everybody's running and spending, millions and millions of dollars, giving it to these big corporations that's selling us products that, when you read the label, sometimes you'll be lucky if you have 10% natural products in there. And part of this stuff is what's killing our people, man, giving our people all types of cancers and all types of other diseases from using all these
That's
synthetic products. So maybe you might want to end off with talking slightly a little bit about that. We have a few more minutes left on the battery here.
Just like you said, if you pick up a bottle of lotion from Walgreens or CVS or whatever, if you notice the first ingredients is water. Whether it's in English or Spanish, it's water. And the lotion is most lotion is about 70 to 80% water. If it lists cocoa butter or shea butter or any other oils, usually it's less than 1%. You see what I'm saying? So you are using water to moisturize your skin. Now, I mean, water is good for your hair, but you can't use water to moisturize your skin. Your skin is going to get dry very quickly. So, and the same thing goes with soap. When you bathe with a bar of soap, you don't want to be left with, crusty skin. You want your skin to be nice and soft and moisturized. So, this is why you need soaps that has natural oils in them, as opposed to, I don't know, when you pick up a bar of soaps and you look at the ingredients, you can't even pronounce the ingredients on the soaps. It's a whole bunch of chemicals in them. Right. And
if you have to Google it, what the hell is in your soap, you probably shouldn't be using it.
Exactly. And if it does list, cocoa butter or shea butter or whatever, it's usually 1% or less. You know what I mean? So as you see earlier, oils. That's what I use in my soaps. Oils. That's it. Oils, cocoa butter, shea butter, and more oils.
And oils usually come from plants, correct?
Yeah, last time I checked. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking. As opposed to the perfumes that are made in the laboratories.
Yeah. So, unless you're allergic to some form of oil, or, most of the oils come from tree nuts. So, unless you're allergic to a particular oil, you won't be getting any type of irritation or itching or anything from a natural bar of soap. Whether you're getting it from me or anybody else who's making natural soaps, because we're using pure raw ingredients, Like I said, unless you're, if you're allergic to coconut oil or coconut itself, I know somebody who's allergic to coconut, period, so she can't use anything with coconut in it. But that's a different story. So unless you're allergic to a particular plant or, that's it. Everything is natural.
All right. So with that, we want to thank you for allowing us to, come into your kitchen and see you make some of your, we invaded your kitchen and, invaded your privacy as far as your business is concerned, but people need to be aware of these things and that these things are in our community and we need to learn to support one another. So with that, I say peace and safety. I say shalom to the people that are watching, and we'll see Sister Malika back here on Maccabees TV and on her channel again real soon. Shalom.
Hi. I want to give a big shout out to my sister Shimika, because she is an inspiration. So shout out to you, Sister Shimika. I don't think I would ever I would ever even begin to make soap without my sister Shimika. She is, she's the I call her the mother of soap making. So, like I said, shout out to my sister Shimika. She is my inspiration when it comes to making soap. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even think of making soap. So, again, shout out to you, my sister Shimika.
Lions of Israel, Pittsburgh. Shout out to y'all.
Yep.
Shalom.